Hey, Courtney Morse, Natural Wellness Physiotherapy. I can wrapping up our prep series here. This one's going to be about running prep. A lot of times people's running prep is the first two steps that they take when they're running. Or my first mile running is my running prep. That's a lousy way to do it. It's a good way to get injured. We're going to talk about 2 or 3 different positions. One, we're going to talk about some dynamic warm-up, some dynamic mobility stuff. We're going to talk about some ankle mobility, and we're going to talk about hip activation. So a very good place to start is working on those ankles and those Achilles first. You can do this thing in kneeling. You can do it in standing. You can use your steps at home, whatever version that you choose. But get this foot on the ground, have your heel stay on here, and start warming up this part of your Achilles, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your knee well out past your toe. You're going to dive around through here, going forward and out to the side. You might do this, grab a lacrosse ball and work on this in between as well too. But ideally, you're going to spend a little bit of time prepping this ankle to get ready to get ready to load this thing, right? The other thing that I will do is I will do some hip warm-up stuff here. If you don't want to get on the ground, truthfully, the 7-way hip, which we'll link below, is a great hip warm-up. Really gets all these posterior tissues firing. Again, we've hit on this 1,000 times, is when we are running, what causes most of our issues down the chain, our shin splints, our Achilles tendonitis, or plantar fasciitis, or knee pain, or patellar tendonitis, most of the time it's coming from up here at our hip. If we're not strong in this hip, we're collapsing in this way, or we're collapsing out that way, and now I've got overloaded tissues down the way. Make sure those hips are warmed up and they're ready to go when you start off on this. So you start with your band over through here. You're walking this thing sideways. You do 8 or 10 steps each direction. You can do it in standing. You can do it in kneeling or in half squat. But you're really spending some time warming up those posterior hip muscles. And then the last little bit that I like to do is kind of just some dynamic stretching. I don't want to do big, long, slow stretches. Those are much better to do after the run. Before a run, I'm just doing like some Frankenstein walk, some dynamic activities. Doing 10 or 15 of those, working on some nerve glides and some quick little quad pulls. These types of things. It doesn't have to be this big long routine, but spend at least 5 minutes warming up those tissues before you go out on a run. It's going to reduce your rate of injury. It's going to make sure that you're able to go out on the run the next day. So if you have questions, drop them in the comments below. We're going to link to our other videos that are like this. Until next time, Courtney Morse, Natural Wellness Physiotherapy.